Tonight, you do not need to chase force or figure everything out. You are here to rest, and in this rest, something quiet begins to change. The wealth you have been seeking does not begin in pressure. It begins within, in the hidden place where identity forms, where expectations settle, where old stories can finally loosen their grip. Maybe what has felt blocked was never a punishment, never bad luck, never proof that abundance was meant for others. Maybe it was only a pattern softly repeated until it started to feel like truth. The fear of not enough, the habit of bracing the tiredness of checking, calculating, worrying, hoping, then shrinking again. You may have carried beliefs that were never truly yours, inherited ideas about struggle, delay, sacrifice, and disappointment. And still, here you are, ready for something new. Because tonight is not about becoming desperate for money. It is not about begging life to change. It is about becoming the one who naturally allows prosperity, peace, support, and overflow. The door is not locked the way it once seemed. It is only beginning to open. A dim room is filling with warm light. Dry ground is receiving rain. You are allowed to imagine life without financial fear. You are allowed to feel what dignity, relief, freedom, and self-trust might feel like in your body. And as you rest, a gentle reconditioning begins. No force, no struggle, only repetition, acceptance, and the quiet willingness to receive. And if you wish to return here with me each night, subscribe for these nightly sessions and comment, "I am ready to rewire." Now let the night hold you a little more completely. Let the room be exactly as it is, the quiet around you, doing its gentle work. The surface beneath you supports you without question. The darkness does not ask anything from you. It simply wraps around you, soft and spacious, like a calm sky stretching far beyond what you can see. You do not need to solve your life in this moment. You do not need to organize tomorrow. You do not need to rehearse every number, every possibility, every unfinished thought. For now, you are allowed to settle. You are allowed to be here, held by stillness, held by rest, held by the simple fact that this moment is asking nothing from you except softness. Feel the muscles around your face beginning to loosen. The forehead no longer needs to think so hard. The eyes can rest back into their quiet darkness. The jaw can soften, the tongue can rest, the tiny effort you may have carried all day beginning to dissolve without struggle. Your shoulders no longer need to prepare for pressure. They can lower gently, naturally, as if some invisible weight has been lifted from them. Let that feeling travel down through the chest, where so many worries try to make a home. Let the chest grow spacious. Let it feel less guarded, less braced, less burdened. Let the stomach soften too, releasing the old habit of holding tension there, the old reflex of tightening around uncertainty. Let the hands rest. They do not need to grip. They do not need to force. They do not need to reach for control tonight. Even the hips, the legs, the feet can begin to understand that this is a moment of safety. And as the body softens, the day can begin to drift farther away. Let it recede like distant waves pulling back from the shore. Let it fade like traffic growing quieter in the distance, like curtains closing on a long and tiring scene. The conversations, the responsibilities, the calculations, the financial concerns, the small stings and heavy thoughts of the day can move farther, now dissolving into mist, becoming less sharp, less immediate, less important than this quiet space you are in now. So often, fear about money travels through the body before it ever becomes words. It can live in the clenched jaw, the tight chest, the restless stomach, the tired mind that keeps circling the same concerns. And when the body stays on alert, life can start to feel narrow. Choices seem smaller. Possibilities feel farther away. Even hope can feel tense. But when the body begins to learn safety again, something changes. The mind becomes wider. Perception opens. What once felt hidden can start to come into view. This is why softness matters. This is why stillness has power. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is a field becoming clear enough to receive a signal. It is the surface of a lake growing smooth enough to reflect the moon. It is dust settling in a silent room. It is snow resting lightly on the branches until everything becomes quiet, clean, and open. And in this quiet, you begin teaching yourself a new association. Money no longer has to mean alarm. Money no longer has to mean pressure, fear, contraction, or survival. It can begin to mean support. It can begin to mean flow. It can begin to mean steadiness, provision, and relief. Your system can learn that receiving is safe, that being supported is safe, that having enough is safe. You do not need to force yourself to believe everything all at once. You only need to rest here long enough for the deeper part of you to hear a different tone, a gentler one, a steadier one, a tone that says, life is not only struggle, a tone that says support is possible, a tone that says the future does not need to be met with fear. And if thoughts wander, that is all right. If the mind drifts into old patterns for a moment, that is all right too. Nothing is ruined. Nothing is lost. The repetition still works. The softness still works. The body is listening even now. The deeper mind is listening even now. Every time you return to this feeling of being held, of being safe, of being supported, something within you remembers. So let yourself keep sinking into that remembrance. Let your inner world become like a calm field at night, open and still beneath a velvet sky. Let the storm clouds thin. Let the noise grow distant. Let the tightness unwind little by little until all that remains is this quiet sense that you do not have to brace anymore. You are here. You are safe in this moment. You are allowed to soften. And as you soften, you become more open, more receptive, more available to a new way of being with life, with support, with abundance. Now bring your attention to the top of your head and let this entire journey move slowly through you, like warm light pouring through a quiet home. Nothing needs to be forced. Nothing needs to be fixed tonight. You are only allowing old tension to leave and making space for a new sense of support to settle into your body. Let the crown of your head soften first, as if a gentle warmth has touched you there. The mind no longer needs to stay on guard. The forehead can smooth itself out, releasing the habit of overthinking, calculating, predicting, trying to survive tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. You do not need to solve every outcome in this moment. You do not need to earn rest by figuring everything out. The space between your brows opens, and with it, the pressure to mentally carry your whole life begins to fade. Let that softness move around the eyes. The eyes can rest deeply now, no longer searching, no longer scanning for danger, no longer looking for proof that something might go wrong. The small muscles around them can let go. The cheeks can loosen. The mouth can soften. jaw can unclench, releasing all the silent pressure you may have carried, all the unspoken worries, all the effort of trying to stay strong when you were tired. You no longer need to hold yourself so tightly. You are safe enough to soften. Let this wave move down into the throat. This place can release the fear of asking, the fear of being seen, the fear of speaking your value, the fear that your needs may be too much. Your throat opens gently now, like a clear path. Your voice, your worth, your right to receive are not dangerous. They are natural. They belong here. You are allowed to take up space in the world. You are allowed to be supported. You are allowed to be met with openness. Now let your shoulders grow heavy in the best way, as if a burden you forgot you were carrying is finally being set down. So much strain can gather here, the weight of responsibility, the fear of falling behind the invisible load of trying to hold everything together. Let it slide off you. Let your arms grow loose. Let your hands rest. These hands do not need to grip life tonight. They do not need to control every outcome. They do not need to force open doors that are not meant to be forced. The hands can uncurl, and in that release, your whole system learns something new. What is meant for you does not always arrive through strain. It can come through ease, through timing, through conversation, through courage, through a simple moment of alignment. Bring your awareness now to the chest. Let the center of you grow warm and spacious. This is where disappointments can linger, where old hurts can stay folded into the body, where hope and heaviness sometimes sit side by side. Let the chest open without effort. Let it feel like a lantern softly lighting from within. The heart does not need to protect itself from every future possibility. It can remain open. It can remain steady. It can remember that abundance is not only money. It is peace. It is dignity. It is relief. It is trust. It is the feeling of not shrinking in your own life. And now the stomach, the belly, the deep center where insecurity and uncertainty often gather. Let this area soften completely. No bracing, no tightening, no silent dread about what may happen next. Let the belly understand that it does not need to prepare for lack right now. It does not need to rehearse fear. It does not need to carry the old identity of someone always trying to catch up. A deeper calm moves in here. A steadier message settles here. I am supported. I am safe. I do not have to live in constant readiness for loss. Feel the back of the body too, from the upper back down through the spine, releasing the invisible history it has been carrying. So much can be stored there. Family stories inherited, fear, memories of strain, the emotional posture of scarcity passed quietly from one life to another. Let the whole back unwind. Imagine a quiet river of warmth moving down your spine, washing away old weight. You do not have to carry every past pattern forward. You do not have to keep wearing an old financial story just because it was repeated around you. Tonight, that story loosens. Tonight, your body learns another way. Let the softness move into the hips where effort and guarding can settle deeply. Let the hips loosen. Let the thighs grow heavy. Let the knees unburden themselves. Let the calves and ankles rest. All the way down into the feet, let yourself feel the deep, quiet truth of being supported. The feet no longer need to stand on uncertain ground. Beneath you now is steadiness. Beneath you now is care. Beneath you now is a foundation that can hold you. Imagine roots gently extending beneath your feet deep into the earth, not in struggle, but in belonging. You are not separate from support. You are not cut off from provision. Life has more channels than the fearful mind can see at once. Support can arrive through opportunity, through a new idea, through a changed decision, through confidence, through generosity, through a conversation at the right time, through doors you do not yet know are preparing to open. You do not need to map every path tonight. You only need to become available to being guided, and as the body rests more fully, it becomes like a home prepared for abundance. A room once crowded is now cleared. A window is open. Fresh air moves through. A lantern is lit. The vessel is polished. The soil is ready. There is nothing frantic here, nothing desperate, only readiness, only openness, only a quiet inner order that says I no longer live as though lack is the center of my identity. Because when people feel worthy, they move differently, they speak differently, they notice openings sooner. They stop pushing away what they desire. They stop sabotaging what could support them. And when the body begins to feel secure, the whole way of meeting life changes. Choices become clearer. Boundaries become healthier. Receiving becomes less complicated. You are teaching yourself that now, not through effort, but through ease. So let every part of you keep resting into this new message. The forehead released, the jaw softened, the throat open, the chest warm, the belly calm, the hands uncurled, the back unburdened, the legs heavy, the feet supported. Your whole body becoming a quieter place, a safer place, a more welcoming place for peace, for worthiness, for abundance. You do not have to become someone else tonight. You are only letting go of what was never truly you. Beneath the tension, beneath the fear, beneath the old rehearsed scarcity, there is already a deeper self, a steadier self, a self that knows how to receive, how to trust, how to remain open without fear. Rest there now. Let that be enough. There is a version of you that has grown tired of measuring life through what is missing. Tired of quietly counting what is late, what is uncertain, what has not yet arrived. Tired of carrying the old identity that expects struggle before ease delay, before relief disappointment, before support. And tonight, without force, without argument, you are allowed to begin releasing that identity. You do not have to fight every old thought. You do not have to prove anything to the past. You do not need to wrestle with every phrase you may have heard, every warning, every fear, every story about money being hard, about nothing lasting, about always falling behind. You do not need to battle those echoes tonight. You only need to let them pass through the distance of your mind, like voices fading down a long hallway, growing quieter, less convincing, less alive. It is safe to stop gripping. It is safe to stop holding your whole future with tense hands. It is safe to stop trying to rescue tomorrow from this moment. Let that settle into you. Let it move through the places that once believed tension was protection. Because you may have learned to hold on tightly, to mentally brace, to rehearse problems before they happen, to measure safety by how much you worry. But worry has never been the same as wisdom. Strain has never been the same as power. Constant effort has never been the same as true security. Sometimes forcing only creates more exhaustion. Sometimes gripping only hides the quiet support that was trying to reach you all along. So now, in the stillness of this night, let the ropes slip gently from your hands. Let the old ledgers be washed clean by soft rain. Let the heavy coins of fear melt back into light. Let the rusted gate inside you open without strain. You do not have to pry your life open. You do not have to earn receiving through exhaustion. You do not have to prove your goodness through struggle. We are often taught to cling to lack, as if expecting less might protect us from pain. We compare, we contract, we resent. We feel guilt for wanting more guilt, for needing more guilt, even for imagining a softer life. And yet none of that was ever your natural state. Those were layers. Those were habits. Those were emotional postures learned over time. They are not your essence. They are not your destiny. They are not the deepest truth of who you are. It is safe to unhook from comparison. It is safe to unclench around the past. It is safe to untangle from the identity of not enough. Let any resentment soften now. Toward life, toward money, toward those who seem to have what you desire, toward yourself, for choices you wish had gone differently. Let it soften. You do not need to carry old debts and identity. You do not need to define yourself by past delays, past losses, past mistakes, past seasons of fear. A difficult chapter is not your name. A season of strain is not your nature. What happened before does not have to become the shape of what comes next. And if the mind wanders back into old fear, let it wander without judgment. If an old memory rises, let it rise and pass. If the body remembers what it felt like to brace, let it be met with gentleness. Nothing has gone wrong. This is part of the unlearning. This is part of the softening. This is part of the release. You are not failing the process when old patterns appear. You are witnessing them, and in the witnessing, they begin to lose their authority. Surrender is not defeat. Surrender is the laying down of unnecessary burden. Surrender is trusting that your life does not improve only through strain. Surrender is allowing goodness to meet you without suspicion. Surrender is making room for support. Surrender is remembering that wealth can belong to calm people, kind people, honest people, gentle people. Wealth does not have to arrive through hardness. Receiving does not require panic. Prosperity is not in conflict with softness. Support is not in conflict with integrity. Ease is not in conflict with worth. So, let yourself release the need to chase every answer tonight. Let yourself stop rehearsing worst-case endings. Let yourself stop making shortage into a personality, into a shield, into a familiar room you keep returning to, simply because you know its shape. You are allowed to leave that room now. You are allowed to step through another doorway, into a wide and quiet space where nothing is pressing against you, where nothing is demanding your fear, where the air itself feels open and limitless. In this space, you do not have to become smaller to be safe. You do not have to expect disappointment to stay prepared. You do not have to dim your desire to stay acceptable. You are allowed to want more peace, more freedom, more support, more beauty, more room to breathe, more dignity in the way you live. And you are allowed to want these things without shame. It is safe to stop gripping. It is safe to let go. It is safe to be supported. Feel how different that is. Feel the relief of not carrying everything alone. Feel the quiet wisdom of allowing. Feel the body understanding little by little that receiving does not always come from pushing harder. Sometimes it comes when the inner world stops resisting what the heart is ready to welcome. So tonight, let the old identity loosen. Let the one who always feared there would never be enough begin to dissolve like mist before morning light. Let the one who carried inherited tension, silent scarcity, and private dread begin to rest. You do not need to destroy that version of you. You only need to stop feeding it. Stop calling it permanent. Stop calling it you. And in the gentle space left behind, permission begins to grow. Permission to expect support. Permission to trust your path more deeply. Permission to believe that life can meet you with more kindness than you were taught to expect. Permission to open your hands, your heart, your inner posture, and simply allow, for now, that is enough. Now you begin to drift at the edge of sleep in that gentle place where the day is no longer fully here and the night has not yet completely carried you away. You are floating between worlds, between thought and silence, between effort and surrender, between the familiar voice of the waking mind and the deeper quiet of the inner self. This is a soft threshold, a calm doorway, a quiet inner chamber where the conscious mind loosens its grip, where old defenses no longer feel so solid, where what is repeated gently can begin to sink deeper. Here, there is nothing to force, nothing to prove, nothing to perform, only a softening, only a deepening, only a settling into what is safe. The deeper mind responds to feeling, to image, to repetition, to the steady emotional tone you offer it now. And so you do not need intensity. You do not need effort. You only need this softness, this consistency, this quiet willingness to let a new assumption be welcomed. Deeper, softer, safer. Deeper, softer, safer. You may notice yourself drifting. Thoughts may blur. Sensations may grow lighter or farther away. Time may feel less defined. This is good. This is natural. You are not losing control. You are entering receptivity. You are moving through soft twilight, through a silent doorway, into a place within you that is more open than before. And here in this tender threshold, new possibilities are easier to receive. New identities are easier to welcome. New stories are easier to believe, not because you force them in, but because the old resistance is growing quiet now. You are safe here. You are open here. You are ready here. Now the inner ground is quiet. The body has softened. The mind has loosened. And something deeper within you is more open than before. You do not need to reach for what comes next. You only need to remain here in this gentle state of allowing. A gate is opening within. A curtain is parting. The night feels wider now, and you are ready to receive a new way of seeing yourself. Not through force, not through effort, but through quiet acceptance. The old tension has eased enough for something new to enter. Worthiness can enter. Ease can enter. Wealth can enter as a natural extension of who you are becoming. You are calm enough now to receive new self-concepts. Open enough now to let support feel familiar. Rested enough now to allow a different relationship with money to take root in the deeper mind. Nothing needs to be hurried. Nothing needs to be pushed. The way is opening on its own, and as you rest here, you cross gently into that next inner space where receiving becomes natural, where abundance feels closer, softer, more welcome than before. You wake into a morning that feels quiet, steady, and safe. The light falls softly across the room, and before you even move, you notice what is different. Your body is no longer bracing. Your chest is not tight. Your mind is not racing ahead, trying to calculate, fix, prevent, or survive. There is space where fear used to live. There is breath where panic used to rise. And in that gentle, ordinary morning, you realize that money no longer carries dread. You reach for your phone calmly, easily, and there is no hesitation in your hand. You open your messages, your inbox, your banking app, and your nervous system stays relaxed. Numbers no longer threaten you. Information no longer controls your mood. You look and you remain grounded. Bills are handled. Payments are made. What needs to be covered is covered. What needs your attention receives it, without pressure, without shame, without the old story of not enough. You sit up slowly and feel the comfort of being supported. The room around you reflects it in quiet ways. The air feels clean. The space feels cared for. There is order where there once was mental clutter. You can sense the dignity of a life that is no longer built around catching up. The kitchen is stocked. The basics are there. The small things are there too. You pour a warm drink, and even that simple moment feels different now. You are not counting every sip with tension. You are not bargaining with the day before it begins. You are here and you are held. As the morning unfolds, you notice how naturally you move. Your shoulders are softer. Your jaw is relaxed. Your thoughts are slower, clearer, kinder. Prosperity first arrives like this, sometimes not as spectacle, but as relief, as stability, as the return of your own natural rhythm. You are no longer living in resistance to loss. You are no longer expecting the next problem before the next blessing. You are not surviving this life. You are supported by it. You check what needs to be paid, and you pay it with calm. There is no spiral, no sinking feeling, no quiet humiliation. Only the grounded certainty that what is needed is available. You choose what to buy without guilt wrapping around every decision. You replace what needs replacing. You care for what needs care. You plan ahead, and the future does not feel like a threat. It feels like something you are ready for. You hear yourself speaking about money with a new tone now. Clear, steady, unashamed. You no longer speak from lack. You no longer apologize for wanting ease, security, comfort, and room to breathe. You understand now that enoughness is not selfish. It is stabilizing. It is healing. It is the foundation that lets your life open again. And as this day continues, you feel the subtle evidence everywhere. An invoice already paid. A calendar that is not crowded by urgency. Choices available to you. Time to think. Time to rest. Time to decide from wisdom instead of fear. Your home feels more peaceful because you feel more peaceful in it. Your mind is no longer trapped in the cycle of almost, nearly, not yet. You have crossed into something steadier. You are the one who opens the app without fear. You are the one who pays the bill without shrinking. You are the one who shops for what is needed and feels no shame in receiving quality care and support. You are the one who plans ahead with confidence. You are the one who no longer braces for loss. And that identity feels natural on you now. Let yourself stay there for a moment longer, in the morning light, in the calm body, in the ordinary proof of a life that works, in the quiet dignity of having enough, in the steady inner knowing that you are supported, provided for, and safe. This is not a distant fantasy. This is the feeling of your life when fear is gone. This is the texture of financial peace. This is how your prosperous self lives, moves, breathes, chooses, and rests. You step further into this reality of more than enough, and everything around you seems to reflect it back to you with quiet beauty. The space opens. The air feels lighter. Sunlight stretches across a beautiful room, warming the floor, touching the edge of a chair, the corner of a polished table, the soft folds of clean linen. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is strained. The life you are living now carries spaciousness in it, not only in money, but in time, in energy, in attention, in the way each moment has room to breathe. You move through this space and feel the texture of receiving everywhere. The objects around you are chosen with care, useful, beautiful, lasting. You no longer fill your life from urgency. You choose from calm certainty. You know what belongs in your world, and what enters your life now reflects dignity, clarity, and self-respect. A full pantry, fresh flowers, a clear desk, a peaceful home, an inbox that does not feel like pressure, savings that feel protective, not fragile, plans made from desire, not desperation. And then the scene expands beyond the home. You see yourself moving through the world with that same quiet prosperity. Perhaps you are walking through a hotel lobby, elegant and serene, your steps unhurried, your body completely at ease in a place of beauty. Perhaps you are looking out at an open road, knowing you can go because the choice is available to you. Perhaps you are standing before an ocean horizon, breathing in salt air, feeling how abundance is not a number alone, but a wider life, a fuller life, a life with options. You notice how prosperity touches your relationships too. There is more generosity in your presence now, more patience, more softness, more ability to say yes when something meaningful calls to you. Invitations arrive and you feel welcomed. Opportunities appear and you feel ready. Conversations open and you no longer shrink inside them. You are not just being given money. You are being given room. Room to create. Room to rest. Room to explore. Room to become. Meaningful work begins to flow with a different quality as well. You feel dignity in what you do. Your effort is met. Your gifts have value. Ideas come more clearly because fear no longer crowds them. Solutions find you more easily because your mind is no longer trapped in contraction. The day itself feels richer now. Time does not slip away in anxiety. It expands in presence. Even simple moments feel luxurious because you are no longer resisting life. And as this scene grows wider, you become open to synchronicities. The timely message, the unexpected recommendation, the chance meeting, the door that opens with surprising ease. You do not force them. You notice them. You welcome them. Abundance begins to feel like an atmosphere around you, a natural field of support in which the right things arrive, the right connections strengthen, and the next steps reveal themselves with grace. Stay here in this richer world a little longer. Feel the softness, the order, the beauty, the steadiness. Feel how enoughness becomes fullness. Feel how relief becomes openness. Feel how prosperity becomes the tone of your life, the texture of your days, the atmosphere you live inside. And let yourself recognize that this is how abundance begins to feel when it is no longer distant. It feels natural. It feels spacious. It feels like you. Feel now the warmth that rises in your chest as this new reality settles more deeply into you. Not excitement that burns too fast, not hope that depends on proof, but a calmer, richer feeling, a deep sense of relief, a quiet joy, a steady gratitude. The kind of gratitude that fills the body before the outer world has fully caught up, because somewhere within you, it already knows. It already recognizes the truth of being supported. You let yourself feel how safe it is to receive, safe to be provided for, safe to have enough, safe to have more than enough. The old emotional weight around money begins to dissolve here. It no longer feels sharp, no longer feels threatening, no longer feels tied to shame or pressure. Instead, abundance begins to carry a different feeling: warmth, trust, openness, dignity, calm expectancy. And your whole inner world softens around that new emotional signature. You feel gratitude, and with it comes ease. You feel relief, and with it comes space. You feel trust, and with it comes breath. You feel joy, and with it comes lightness. Again and again, these feelings move through you, gently, naturally, like a golden current passing through your life. Not forced, not exaggerated, just present, familiar, welcome. And each time you feel them, your mind becomes more comfortable with prosperity, more familiar with peace, more available for support. We move toward what feels normal. We hold what feels safe. We welcome what feels familiar. And so tonight, as you rehearse these emotions with softness and repetition, your subconscious begins to understand that wealth can feel safe, support can feel safe, visibility can feel safe, success can feel safe. It can feel warm in the body. It can feel kind to the heart. It can feel like home inside you. Let yourself feel the dignity of being well provided for. Let yourself feel the relief of no longer tightening against life. Let yourself feel the joy of expecting good things without apology. Let yourself feel the trust that what is meant for you can find you and stay with you and grow in your hands. Money is no longer an enemy in this inner world. It is not a source of fear. It becomes an ally, a tool, a current of support, flowing where it is welcomed with wisdom and calm. And as you stay with these feelings, they begin to anchor themselves to the images you have already seen. The peaceful room, the paid bills, the open road, the beautiful space, the protected savings, the invitations, the choices, the wider horizon. All of it now becomes infused with gratitude, relief, trust, joy, and quiet certainty. These are no longer separate ideas. They become one atmosphere, one emotional home, one inner state that tells your nervous system, your mind, your life, abundance is safe here now. So breathe into that warmth. Breathe into that openness. Breathe into that gentle, steady feeling of being supported by life. Let gratitude grow. Let relief deepen. Let trust expand. Let joy become natural. And let this new emotional truth settle into you completely. Wealth feels safe. Support feels safe. And it is safe for you to receive and remain in the peace of having enough. Feel now how gratitude begins to widen your vision. Not the kind of gratitude that denies what has been hard, not the kind that asks you to pretend, but the kind that gently teaches your mind to notice what has also been here all along. The shelter around you, the breath in your body, the chance to rest, the chance to begin again. The quiet fact that you are still here, still becoming, still open to a new story. You begin to notice the forms of support that have carried you even when you did not fully name them. A door that opened at the right time, a kindness you almost forgot, an idea that arrived when you needed it, a person who helped, a lesson that strengthened you, a resource that was already within reach. The simple daily ways life has continued to meet you, even through uncertainty, even through delay, even through seasons when it seemed nothing was moving. And as you notice these things, your heart softens. Gratitude rises gently, honestly, for the bed that holds you, for the roof above you, for the parts of you that kept going, for the wisdom gained in difficult seasons, for the awareness growing in you now, for every visible support and every invisible support quietly working in your favor. Let yourself feel thankful for what is already present, thankful for what is already stable, thankful for what has been protected, thankful for the ideas you have not yet acted on, thankful for the possibilities still waiting, thankful for the fact that not every opportunity has passed, not every answer has been missed, not every path has closed. There is still movement ahead of you. There is still life unfolding for you. Gratitude begins to extend beyond what you can already see. You feel thankful for what is forming out of sight, like seeds beneath the soil, like fruit ripening where your eyes cannot yet reach, like dawn already gathering beyond the horizon before the sky fully changes. There are things aligning for you now that do not need your fear to arrive. There are openings preparing themselves in silence. There are returns already moving toward you, like tides that know their way back. And the more you rest in this gratitude, the more your mind loosens its habit of only searching for absence. You begin to include evidence of provision, evidence of timing, evidence of care, evidence that life has not forgotten you. Even now, at the edges of your life, abundance is present in quiet forms, in resilience, in learning, in support, in chances still available, in breath, in rest, in awareness, in possibility. So let gratitude settle deeply into you for what is here, for what has been, for what is coming, for what is seen, for what is unseen, for the visible blessings and the hidden growth, for the known support and the support still on its way. Let yourself be grateful without strain, grateful without performance, grateful as a way of opening, as a way of receiving, as a way of remembering that life contains more provision than fear once allowed you to see. I am available for wealth. I am safe to receive more than enough. I am worthy of overflow, ease, and support. I am no longer loyal to lack. I am no longer shaped by fear. I am the one who expects good. I am the one who receives with calm. I am the one who lives in enoughness. I am aligned with opportunities, wisdom, and increase. I am comfortable with money, and money feels comfortable with me. I am relaxed in the presence of abundance. I am steady when I receive. I am grounded when I grow. I am open to support from expected and unexpected places. I am available for elegant solutions. I am available for expansion that feels natural and safe. I am worthy without proving. I am deserving without struggle. I am supported without apology. I am supplied without fear. I am dignified in receiving. I am confident in having. I am peaceful in keeping. I am wise in growing what comes to me. I am grateful, open, and well supplied. I am becoming visibly supported by life. I already hold the self-concept that welcomes prosperity. I already know how to live as the one who has enough. I already know how to choose from trust. I already know how to rest in provision. I already know how to let good remain. I am the open door. I am fertile ground. I am a clear channel for wealth support and renewal. I am a safe place for abundance to stay. I am a calm mind in the presence of increase. I am a steady heart in the presence of overflow. I am the version of me who receives honors and expands. I am no longer the self who shrinks from blessings. I am no longer the self who expects loss. I am now the self who welcomes prosperity. I am now the self who trusts life. I am now the self who sees options, value, and possibility. I am now the self who feels secure, supplied, and free. I am ready for more than enough. I am ready for stable wealth. I am ready for peaceful provision. I am ready for increase with integrity. I am ready for the kind of abundance that nourishes every part of my life. I am ready, and I receive. I am open, and I allow. I already am, and if this identity feels true within you, let it settle even deeper now. You may seal it softly by commenting, "I already am," and subscribing so we continue this becoming together. I notice aligned opportunities. I make wise, calm decisions with money. I treat myself as valuable, and life reflects that value. I welcome support ideas, client solutions, and right timing. I no longer signal desperation. I signal readiness. I signal stability. I signal self-respect. I act from confidence, not fear. I choose from clarity, not pressure. I move with trust, not urgency. I let my decisions reflect the life I now live within. I honor what I receive, and I expand what I honor. I care well for what comes to me. I use money with wisdom. I let money circulate with trust and intelligence. I notice what is aligned. I recognize what is valuable. I respond to opportunities with calm presence. I am available for clean, supportive, profitable paths. I welcome work that respects me. I welcome exchange that strengthens me. I welcome relationships that reflect mutual value. I welcome solutions that arrive with grace. I maintain standards that match prosperity. I speak with steadiness. I choose with discernment. I follow through with trust. I let my tone, my energy, and my actions reflect inner sufficiency. I no longer chase from fear. I no longer cling from lack. I no longer shrink from receiving. I recognize abundance in many forms. I notice time, energy, money, creativity, connection, and support. I notice open doors. I notice helpful timing. I notice ideas worth acting on. I notice where life is already meeting me. I notice where increase is already beginning. I notice and I respond. I welcome being seen as ready. I welcome being known for value. I welcome the responsibilities that come with increase. I welcome stable growth. I welcome wise expansion. I welcome the patterns, habits, and actions that support lasting prosperity. I maintain the inner state that matches abundance. I remain grounded as I rise. I broadcast calm. I broadcast clarity. I broadcast trust. I broadcast readiness to receive and readiness to sustain. I am a clear channel. I am a steady signal. I am aligned in thought, feeling, and behavior. I live in a way that welcomes prosperity and knows how to keep it. Each night you return to this state, it becomes more familiar, more natural, more deeply accepted by your mind, your body, your life. You are not forcing change here. You are planting. You are watering. You are allowing the feeling of enoughness to take root in the quiet hours where the subconscious listens most deeply and resists the least. So let this become your gentle ritual. To arrive here, to soften, to receive, to sleep as the version of you who is already supported, already safe, already living in a steadier relationship with abundance. Night after night, this feeling settles further in. Night after night, the old tension loosens. Night after night, prosperity feels less like a hope and more like home. You do not need to strain. You do not need to prove. You only return softly, faithfully, and let repetition do its sacred work. Let each evening be a small act of reconditioning, a quiet remembrance, a sacred meeting with the self who already has enough, already trusts, already welcomes more. And as you continue, this inner state grows stronger, calmer, clearer. What you rehearse with peace, you begin to carry with ease. What you feel with sincerity, you begin to embody without effort. So tonight, simply receive. Let this sink in. Let this remain. Let this guide you gently forward as you drift now toward the deeper stillness that follows. You do not need to hold every image now. You do not need to keep every scene bright and detailed, or return again and again to every picture of prosperity, every moment of receiving every imagined proof. You have already planted enough. You have already impressed enough. And now, in this quiet moment, you are allowed to let the pictures soften. Let them become lighter. Let them drift farther away the way a balloon rises into the evening sky, not lost, only released. Let them float beyond the reach of effort, beyond the need to manage them, beyond the habit of checking whether they are still there. You are not losing what matters. You are trusting what has already been given to the deeper mind. The subconscious keeps the essence. It keeps the feeling. It keeps the truth. It keeps what is real. So the images may fade, but the state remains. The feeling of safety remains. The feeling of worth remains. The feeling of being supported remains. The feeling of quiet openness remains. And that is enough. You can let the pictures dissolve like light melting into a wide field at dusk. You can let the scenes blur at the edges as though they are gently returning to the invisible, while the warmth they awakened stays alive within you. Just as the perfume lingers after someone has left the room, the fragrance of abundance remains in you now. Just as warmth stays in the sky even after the sun has gone below the horizon, the atmosphere of prosperity stays wrapped around you now. Just as music continues to echo in the heart after the final note has faded, the feeling of increase continues in you. Even in silence, you do not need to force the mind to perform. You only rest in the feeling that it is already done. Let that be simple. Let that be enough. You are not trying anymore. You are receiving. You are no longer straining to see. You are allowing yourself to feel. And feeling is deeper. Feeling is quieter. Feeling reaches farther than effort ever could. So breathe and let the image go. Breathe and keep the peace. Breathe and keep the trust. Breathe and keep the openness. The moon does not struggle to leave its reflection on water. It simply shines and the water receives. In the same way, you do not have to labor over every detail now. You simply remain available to the state you have entered. Receptive, calm, soft, certain in a gentle way. If a picture returns, let it come lightly. If it fades, let it fade completely. Nothing is wrong either way, because what you truly want is not the picture itself. What you truly want is the inner atmosphere the picture awakened, the feeling of enough, the feeling of being chosen by life, welcomed by life, supported by life. The feeling that good can come close to you and stay. The feeling that prosperity is not far away, not foreign, not difficult, but natural, safe, and allowed. That feeling remains. It remains like moonlight resting on a lake even when clouds pass overhead. It remains like warmth in the skin after a long day in the sun. It remains like the hush of a beautiful song, long after the room is gone still. So now let your mind become less busy. Let your inner world become more spacious. Let the effort fall away layer by layer. You are not dropping the desire. You are dropping the strain. You are not abandoning the vision. You are blessing it and releasing it. You are saying to the deeper self, I trust you with this. I trust what has been impressed. I trust what has been felt. I trust what is already moving even when I cannot see it with the outer mind. And that trust is powerful because letting go is not loss. Letting go is faith. Letting go is the soft confidence that what belongs to you does not need to be chased in the night. Letting go is the calm recognition that the seed does not need your constant hands. It needs your inner permission, your quiet expectancy, your restful belief. So rest now. Let the images dissolve into the dark like silver mist. Let the details melt into softness. Let the mind unclench and keep only this: the calm of being safe, the ease of being worthy, the peace of being open, the quiet, knowing that something beautiful has already begun. The image can go, the feeling stays, the feeling stays, the feeling stays. Tonight your signal becomes clear, no longer pulled in two directions, no longer asking for abundance while rehearsing loss, no longer reaching for increase while secretly preparing for disappointment. The noise begins to settle now, and what remains is steadier, cleaner, calmer. You are becoming a clear signal, a quiet inner message repeated without strain. I am safe. I am worthy. I am open. I am ready to receive. And because your inner world is softening into coherence, life begins to meet you differently. Not by force, not by magic tricks, but by resonance. What matches your inner standard becomes easier to notice, easier to accept, easier to sustain. What once felt distant begins to feel natural. What once felt risky begins to feel allowed. A tuning fork does not chase its note. It simply holds its tone, and what is similar responds. In the same way, you do not need to chase prosperity tonight. You rest in the tone of prosperity. Calm, receptive, steady. And from that steadiness, the outer world begins to arrange itself around a clearer pattern. We often create static by sending mixed messages. One part asks for support while another part clings to fear. One part welcomes more while another part braces for less. But tonight, the signal becomes whole. You are no longer broadcasting tension and desire at the same time. You are becoming simple inside, clear, still, available. Like a still lake reflecting stars without distortion, your inner being becomes calm enough to receive clearly. Like a lantern sending warm light across a dark distance, your state quietly announces itself. Like a garden that remains open to rain, you do not need to pull blessings down. You only remain open enough to receive them. And openness is powerful because wealth responds well to consistency. Support responds well to self-trust. Increase responds well to a heart that no longer argues with good. So let this settle deeper. Money comes more easily where it is welcomed. Opportunities stay more easily where they are trusted. Good grows more easily where it is no longer feared. You are becoming that place now, a place where abundance is welcomed with peace, a place where receiving feels safe, a place where growth does not create panic, a place where more can arrive and remain. You do not need to be louder. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to force the signal. You only become coherent, worthy, safe, open, steady. And as this becomes your inner pattern, self-sabotage begins to loosen. Confusion softens. The old habit of mixed expectation fades. You no longer call for one thing while emotionally living in another. You let your inner life agree with itself. This is the new signal. I am safe to receive. I am steady enough to hold more. I am open without fear. I expect good without tension. Let those words move through you like a soft transmission in a clear night sky. No static, no urgency, just quiet certainty. Just a warm and faithful signal moving outward from the heart. And what belongs with this signal can find you. What matches this peace can reach you. What resonates with this steadiness can remain with you. So rest here a little longer. Clear signal, open heart, steady expectation, quiet receiving. This is your coherence now. In the quiet of this night, something subtle opens in you. Not something you need to analyze, not something you need to force into words, only a soft inner window, a silent place behind thought, where stillness becomes luminous. The night has a way of doing this. Darkness removes the busy edges of the day, and what remains feels more sacred, more intimate, more true. Here, with your eyes closed, the outer world grows dim, and the inner world becomes gentler, clearer, more alive in its own quiet language. You may sense it as a hidden chamber within, a small inner lamp, a silver softness behind the mind, a sanctuary that does not speak loudly, yet always knows. This is the beauty of the night. It asks so little of you. It does not demand effort. It does not require explanation. It only invites you inward across this sacred threshold where subtle truths can be felt more easily than they can ever be explained. And so you rest at that threshold now, the midnight sky above you vast and still, the star-filled silence around you tender and endless, the moonlight like a blessing on dark water, and within you, another kind of moonlight, another kind of sky, another kind of quiet illumination. As the body softens, inner vision grows more delicate, more receptive, not sharper in a strained way, but deeper in a peaceful way. You do not need to see anything dramatic. You do not need to make anything happen. It is enough to feel that there is wisdom in this stillness, that there is guidance in this hush, that there are impressions too fine for daylight that become easier to welcome at night. Here in this hidden chamber of rest, your deeper self remains awake in the gentlest sense, listening, receiving, knowing. And perhaps this quiet inner space, this pineal window of night, is simply the soul's way of turning towards softer light. A light not seen with the eyes, but felt as peace, felt as reverence, felt as a subtle certainty that life is still moving beautifully, even in the unseen. So let the night hold you. Let the silver silence surround you. Let the inner lamp remain softly lit. You do not need to understand every symbol. You do not need to interpret every feeling. You only rest in the sacred atmosphere of this moment where darkness is not empty, but full of presence, full of depth, full of quiet, living intelligence. And in this stillness, what is true comes closer. What is gentle becomes clearer. What is meant for you can be felt without effort, so remain here softly. At the threshold, in the hidden chamber, beneath the silver moon of inner knowing, the night is your sanctuary, and you are safe within it. Money comes where it is welcomed, and tonight you welcome abundance with peace, not with pressure, not with grasping, not with fear, but with peace. I welcome abundance with peace. I am safe to receive. I rest in the feeling of enough. Let those words settle slowly into you now, like soft rain sinking into warm earth, like moonlight resting across still water, like a quiet truth returning home. I am safe to receive. You do not have to defend yourself from good. You do not have to feel guilty for receiving. You do not have to tighten around increase. You are safe to receive. Safe to receive support. Safe to receive money. Safe to receive ease. Safe to receive what nourishes your life. I rest in the feeling of enough. Enough now. Enough within. Enough at the level of being. And from this feeling of enough, more can come gently. More can come naturally. More can come without struggle. Money comes where it is welcomed. I welcome abundance with peace. I am safe to receive. I rest in the feeling of enough. Let the rhythm become softer now. I trust the unseen movement of good. My inner world is changing, and my life is responding. I release lack. I remain open. You do not need to see every movement to trust that something is moving. You do not need outer proof in this moment to let your heart soften into expectancy. The unseen can still be kind. The invisible can still be active. Life can still be arranging itself in your favor while all is quiet. So breathe and trust the unseen movement of good. I trust the unseen movement of good. Again, more softly. I trust the unseen movement of good. My inner world is changing and my life is responding, even now. Especially now. In stillness, the change continues. In rest, the change continues. In sleep, the change continues. I release lack. I remain open. Let that feel simple. I release lack. I remain open. No more rehearsing emptiness. No more repeating old scarcity in the heart. No more clinging to the familiar shape of not enough. You are allowed to open, allowed to soften, allowed to live from a different center now. Prosperity feels natural to me. I sleep in trust and I wake in alignment. I am supported in visible and invisible ways. Prosperity feels natural to me, not forced, not foreign, not borrowed, natural as breath entering and leaving, as natural as the tide returning, as natural as dawn finding the horizon. Prosperity feels natural to me. I sleep in trust and I wake in alignment. There is nothing more you need to do tonight. No more effort. No more mental work. Only trust. Only rest. Only the gentle willingness to let your deeper mind continue what has already begun. I sleep in trust and I wake in alignment. I am supported in visible and invisible ways, supported by what is seen, supported by what is unseen, supported by people, timing, ideas, openings, grace, supported in ways you can name and in ways you do not yet know. I am supported in visible and invisible ways. What belongs to me is finding me. I no longer rehearse fear. I rest in receiving. Let those words drift through you now, slower and slower. What belongs to me is finding me. No chasing, no forcing, no fear. What belongs to me is finding me. I no longer rehearse fear. I rest in receiving. That old rehearsal can end here. The body no longer needs it. The mind no longer needs it. The heart no longer needs it. You may rest now. You may receive now. You may let peace become more familiar than fear. The frequency remains, even when thoughts fade, even when words grow quiet, even when sleep draws near. The frequency remains. The feeling remains. The openness remains. The trust remains. The frequency remains. I already am, not someday, not when conditions change, not after permission arrives from the world. I already am, already worthy, already open, already becoming, already aligned with a life that can hold more goodness. I already am. Money comes where it is welcomed. I welcome abundance with peace. I am safe to receive. I rest in the feeling of enough. I trust the unseen movement of good. I release lack. I remain open. Prosperity feels natural to me. I sleep in trust and I wake in alignment. I am supported in visible and invisible ways. What belongs to me is finding me. I no longer rehearse fear. I rest in receiving. The frequency remains. I already am. Now let them grow even simpler. Safe to receive. Open to good. Resting in enough. Trusting the unseen. Supported by life. The frequency remains. I already am. And softer still. Safe. Open. Enough. Trust. Supported. Already. You are safe. You are open. You are enough. You are supported. You already are. So drift with these now. No need to hold them tightly. Let them pass through like gentle waves through a quiet night. Money comes where it is welcomed. I welcome abundance with peace. I am safe to receive. I rest in the feeling of enough. The frequency remains. I already am. You are safe now and there is nothing more to do. Nothing to solve. Nothing to prove. Nothing to push forward with the mind. Only this soft descent. Only this gentle falling inward. Only this quiet permission to rest. Let the body grow heavier now in the most comforting way. Let the muscles loosen. Let the jaw soften. Let the tongue rest. Let the shoulders sink. Let the chest be easy. Let the belly be warm and unguarded. And as the body releases, the mind can release too. You do not have to keep watch. You do not have to stay mentally alert for what is coming. You do not have to prepare for lack or brace for delay or monitor the unseen. The deeper part of you already knows what to welcome. The deeper part of you already knows how to receive. The deeper part of you already knows how to continue this inner change without effort, without strain, without the waking mind doing anything at all. So now you may drift as if you are floating on dark, still water beneath a sky full of stars. The water is calm, the night is kind, and you are held without effort. Nothing beneath you gives way. Nothing asks you to perform. You are simply carried. The stars above are quiet. The dark is velvet soft. The air around you is cool and gentle, and the whole night seems to whisper the same truth. You are safe, you are held, you are supported. Let that truth be enough for this moment. You are safe, you are held, you are supported, and because you are supported, you do not need to hurry. Because you are held, you do not need to force. Because you are safe, you do not need to fear receiving. Abundance no longer feels like something far away that must be chased through tension. It begins to feel more like being supported by life itself. like lying back into something vast and benevolent, like allowing the current to carry you where effort never could. So drift a little deeper now. Imagine a quiet field at night, wide and still silvered by moonlight. You are resting there, wrapped in softness, the earth steady beneath you, the sky endless above you. No urgency can find you here. No pressure can follow you here. No old story can hold its shape for long in this much peace. Only rest remains. Only quiet remains. Only the gentle hum of enough. You do not need to make abundance happen in this moment. You only let yourself become familiar with the feeling of being cared for. And what becomes familiar in peace becomes easier to live from. What is repeated without strain begins to feel natural. What feels natural begins to remain. So let rest teach you now. Let peace teach you now. Let stillness teach your system that receiving can be calm. Receiving can be calm. Receiving can be safe. Receiving can be natural. And as those truths settle in, sleep begins to gather around you more fully. Softly, slowly, like a warm cloud lowering around the body, like moonlit silence spreading across the mind, like a hush moving through every thought until thoughts no longer need to finish themselves. You may notice the spaces growing wider now, wider between breaths, wider between words, wider between one thought and the next. This is good. This is natural. This is the descent. Let yourself sink into it, as if you are settling into a bed of clouds, as if the night itself is a gentle hand beneath your head, as if every breath is carrying you farther from effort and closer to perfect rest. And even as you sleep, the deeper mind remains open in the gentlest way, welcoming, integrating, receiving, without effort, without commands, without work. Just as a garden receives rain, while resting beneath the night, your subconscious continues to welcome prosperity in stillness. Just as the earth turns quietly toward dawn without strain, your inner world continues to turn toward support, increase, and harmony without needing your conscious attention. So you do not have to stay awake for this. You do not have to supervise it. You do not have to help it along. Sleep is enough. Sleep is not empty. Sleep is fertile. Sleep is integration. Sleep is the soft place where peace becomes pattern, where repetition becomes familiarity, where familiarity becomes embodiment. And tonight, what is being embodied is gentle, safe, supported, open enough, safe to receive, supported by life, open without fear, enough already. Let those ideas become less like words and more like atmosphere, more like warmth, more like softness, more like a quiet blanket around the heart. You are resting in abundance now, not as display, not as pressure, not as performance, but as a feeling of being held by life, of being carried by something wiser than effort, of being allowed to soften into trust. So drift deeper. Imagine now that you are floating through moonlit silence, slow and weightless. Nothing pulls at you. Nothing asks anything of you. The night is wide, and you are safe within it. A silver glow surrounds everything. Soft edges, soft breath, soft silence. And somewhere in that silence, you know I am safe to receive. I am resting in abundance. I am supported by life. I am already enough, not sharply, not forcefully, only like a lullaby the soul already knows. I am safe to receive. I am resting in abundance. I am supported by life. I am already enough. Deeper now, the body heavier, the mind quieter, the heart softer. If any thought appears, let it pass like a cloud crossing a midnight sky. If any tension returns, let it melt like mist disappearing over still water. Nothing needs to stay. Nothing needs to be followed. Only rest, only release, only the slow sweetness of surrender. You are being carried. You are being calmed. You are being restored. Every breath invites more softness. Every exhale empties the need to control. Every pause opens a little more room for peace, and life can meet you here, not in strain, not in urgency, but here in receptivity, because abundance is not only something you gain, it is also something you allow, a way of relaxing into support, a way of no longer resisting nourishment, a way of no longer tightening against good. So tonight all urgency dissolves. There is no race. There is no shortage in this moment. There is no need to reach. Only this breath, only this bed, only this night wrapping itself around you like mercy. And as you sink further into sleep, let the simplest truths remain. Safe, held, supported, open, enough. Safe, held, supported, open, enough. Again, more softly. Safe, held, supported, open, enough. The rest can fade now. The long thoughts can fade. The planning can fade. The questions can fade. Even the affirmations can become fewer. Even the words can become lighter. Held by life, resting deeply, safe to receive, already enough. Held by life, resting deeply, safe to receive, already enough. Now softer still. Held, resting, safe, enough, and softer, resting, safe, enough. You do not need to remember every word. You do not need to repeat every phrase. The feeling is enough. The feeling will remain. The subconscious knows what to keep, so let yourself go deeper still, as if sinking into warm darkness that only comforts, as if the whole night is breathing with you, as if sleep is a gentle tide coming and covering the shore of the mind, smoothing everything, quieting everything, blessing everything. There is nothing to resist now. You are safe in this softness, safe in this silence, safe in this surrender. And while you sleep, something tender continues. Something kind continues. Something unseen continues to organize around the state you have entered tonight, not because you forced it, because you allowed it, because you rested in it, because you became available to it. So rest now in the feeling of enough. Rest now in the feeling of being supported. Rest now in the feeling that good can come to you gently. Rest now in the feeling that life is not against you. Rest now in the feeling that receiving is safe. Let sleep take you. Let peace keep you. Let the night carry you the rest of the way. Nothing more, nothing else. Only rest, only peace, only the quiet, endless kindness of sleep. And if this has brought you peace tonight, you may subscribe so we can meet here again tomorrow night and share this calm with someone who may need rest, comfort, and quiet inner renewal. And now nothing more is asked of you. You are safe to receive. You are resting in abundance. You are supported by life. You are already enough. You are already becoming. Let those words be softer than a whisper now, softer than thought, softer than effort, safe to receive, resting in abundance, supported by life, already enough, already becoming. The night is still with you. The silence is still holding you. The deeper part of you is still open in the gentlest, most peaceful way. No need to wake, no need to return to effort, no need to gather the mind again. Only rest, only softness, only the quiet feeling that life is carrying you even now, safe to receive, supported by life, resting deeply, already enough. And if the words begin to fade, let them fade. If they become only feeling, let them become only feeling. If even the feeling becomes silence, let it become silence. Nothing is lost. The frequency remains. You are held in the dark like a seed held in warm earth. You are surrounded by peace like water around a sleeping shore. You are guided by something tender and unseen, something gentle enough to never disturb your rest. So sleep now. Sleep in trust. Sleep in softness. Sleep in the feeling of enough. Already safe, already held, already supported, already becoming. And deeper now, quieter now, softer now, resting, receiving, becoming, sleeping, still held, still safe, still enough,